Let me put it on you first. There you go.
Hey guys, you got Chris and Sean with Talking Through the Medias. We're going to do an episode about something close to both of our hearts. You gotta love them and you gotta hate them. The top 10 movie villains. Now, some of these, most of these, in fact, are going to be fictitious. They're not real people. I think at least one of them was a real individual, and I just couldn't keep him off my list. Everybody loves villains, especially nowadays. And I may be alone in feeling this, but a lot of times I go see the movie, especially the Batman and all these Marvel, DC movies because of the villains. So let's go ahead and get into the top 10 movie villains. And I start with you, Chris. Who is your bottom of the list?
All right. The person that I had on the bottom of my list. I'm sorry, I had a little technical difficulties there. You can still see me there, right?
Yes. And did you want to start with your mention, or do you want to just dive right into the 5? Because we've got some honorable mentions, guys. I'm gonna stick to 2.
You know what? Yeah. You know what? That's good. That's good. I'm gonna rapid fire through all of my honorable mentions because it was just and some of these guys. It's not any. None of my guys are. Yeah, they have to be there. I guess for me, especially.
Could not mention them.
Exactly, because how they affected me. Now, but keep in mind, guys, these honorable mentions. These aren't from movies that. Some of them are. You're gonna be like, really that movie. But it's just because of how it affected me. I just But here you go. So honorable mentions. I have It. The clown from It. What was that clown's name? What was his name?
Pennywise.
Pennywise from It.
Yeah.
I love It. He scared the crap out of me as a kid. Kathy Bates in Misery. After seeing the
leg-breaking scenes. Oh my God.
I'm glad I didn't watch that movie in my adult life because I probably would have swore off women for like 10 years. I'm just afraid that I wake up in the morning, I'm strapped to the bed, and my legs are about to be hit with sledgehammers. And then Wesley Snipes from Demolition Man. That was, I said,
he was great.
I love that movie, but the way they wrote him, the way Wesley just delivered him, the part that I fell in love with Wesley was when he was out in public. He just got through. I think it was before after he beat up those weak cops.
Yeah,
he walks up to the computer and like, oh damn, I'm possessed. He's just the way he delivered it was funny as hell. He was an awesome villain. And the way he set up Stallone from the beginning to frame him and bring him down with him, it was awesome. And then you got your comic book guys, Magneto. I mean, Magneto to me, played by I want to say not Cumberbatch. Who's the other guy?
Fassbender.
Fassbender. I always get those.
He's fucking great. He is great though.
Yeah, Fassbender is awesome. He's the guy, man. Ever since they cast him, because the original Magneto, awesome as well. But now I'm loving Fassbender. I'm not gonna say I love him more yet, but when he plays Magneto a few more times, probably because he's only been Magneto twice, right?
I believe so. Yes, I think you're right. Yeah, I'll have to double check, but only a couple times, not as much as the other guy.
But from First Class, even from First Class, he was right up there on the level with the person he's taking the mantle from. Oh my God, I'm so bad with names today. The person who originally played Magneto from the original X-Men movie.
I'm drawing a blank, but he's been in a ton of movies. He was Gandalf.
Gandalf.
I'm
just gonna call him Gandalf. Oh man, I'm gonna get it for not remembering that name.
I can't remember either.
And out of all of these cheesy honorable mentions, my all-time favorite cheesy honorable mention villain is Deacon Frost from Blade. That villain, that guy was awesome. I mean, it was the first time I saw a vampire willing to come out in the daylight. You're fighting a daywalker, so what better way to get into a daywalker's head? He has the advantage because he can be out in the sun and he can kill him in the night and kill you, and he has hero powers. So how do you mess with his head? You get some sunscreen and you lather yourself up.
Grabs that kid.
Grab a kid with one finger, and you got your other finger ready to cut her.
There, buddy.
Whoa. And then you take a shot at him, and he's still so fast. See, that was back when vampires were written to the point where, if you were about to go toe-to-toe with a vampire, you were in trouble. Nowadays, since the Twilight era, you got a vampire coming at you, just fall in love with them, and then exploit his weaknesses.
They had a bullet time scene in that movie.
Exactly. That was, to me, I think I think Deacon Frost was the last badass vampire. Ever since then, all the vampires have just been becoming wusses. Because from Deacon Frost from before Dracula, what was that? Dracula 2000 and all those movies, they were awesome, man. But I don't know. All
Gary
vampire
Oldman as
movies have been
Dracula
bad.
was good though. I've crossed
Yeah.
oceans of time for you.
From which movie?
The Bram Stoker's Dracula in the early
Dracula.
'90s.
Yes.
Winona
No,
Ryder
no,
and
exactly.
he was
But
a
see, that's
bad.
what I'm saying. Ever since Deacon Frost was the last well-written vampire. After that, after Blade, I think vampires just started sucking.
Yeah.
But what do you got? What do you got for your
All right. So,
honorable
and actually, I'm sorry, I had 3 honorable mentions. I said 2, but I have 3. So, right out the gate, I love this dude, and I heard there's a screenplay that's just been submitted for you movie fanatics. Don't take my word for it. Check it out. What is it? The Siberian Express, Death from Above, Ivan Drago from Rocky 4.
Oh wow!
That guy was a beast.
I almost went there.
Man,
I did.
I must break you.
I must break you.
So right off, Ivan Drago, Rocky 4. Yeah. So my next one I've got would be a little known villain, but just because people don't know him doesn't mean he isn't awesome. And the only villain in this list that we're going to discuss that actually got away with what he did at the end of the movie, Oliver Lang, my boy Tim Robbins, in the terrorist movie Arlington Road, which was shot right here in the Houston area.
And we're still on your honorable mentions, right?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. And the last one of my honorable mentions, the whole Bodiger gang from Clarence Bodiger and the original RoboCop. Too many lines to talk about from this gang. They are these guys are sick, man. Very memorable. So that's my honorable mentions.
Oh no, here we go. Just one. I got to do one line. Damn. You mind if I zip this up first?
Man, what is it? I found the other one. She was sweet. I took her out. He's like, I bet that really pisses you off. I bet you think I'm a very nice guy.
When he what did he knocked her out and
he knocked her. He's like, I took her out.
Just laughed his ass off.
I took her out.
That movie was awesome. But so yeah, let's dive into the our official top 5s on each side. So technically this is gonna be a top 10, but this is 5 from Sean, 5 from me. So Sean, what do you got for you?
All right, so for my number 5 position, I was so excited to see this villain, man. I was pumped and waiting for almost 2.5 years waiting for this because there hasn't been a live version of this character. My boy Tom Hardy in The Dark Knight Rises as Bane. Dude's a beast. Only time in a movie where the people working for him, he tells the guy, search him, and then I'll kill you. And the guy's just like, oh, what? Damn. And he just does it anyway. He knows he's about to die.
I couldn't figure out how Bane was so popular with his gang that him ordering you to kill yourself was just like him ordering you to go, send a fax.
No, brother. Weird. They expect one of us in the wreckage. And he's like, oh.
I'm telling. That's probably why I was never cast in that movie, because I would have been arguing that whole time. Like, wait a second, but
I just got hired.
Yeah, I just started. I mean, I don't. My benefits hasn't kicked in yet. So wait a second. Oh, the fire rises. Yeah.
Yes, the fire rises. Have we started the fire?
I got a guy who was not as menacing as Bane, but in my opinion is just as intimidating because he has almost the same build. I got Tom Wilson playing Biff from the Back to the Future trilogy. Biff. This guy was talk about a guy who, just like Bane, ran his own crew and it pretty much with an iron fist.
Yeah.
And, anytime these guys got out of the line, he was right there on them. Oh man, this guy is the stereotype epitome of what a school bully was. And nowadays, I think any movie that came after it that had bullying in it, they had to have thought about
Biff. Biff.
I think bullies, period, after that movie came out, they were aspiring to be more Biff-like.
Biff like a Biff cake.
A Biff cake, yeah, a big old Biff cake. That dude was awesome. I mean, he had the best manure. I hate manure. How much
Dude,
manure
he
did
got
he
poo in every single one of the movies. He got pooed on.
Everyone. That dude was, and when he played his ancestor, that was still him, right? And
Yeah, it was
yeah. He looked so different to me, but it was awesome that they that he played himself, his ancestor. But yeah, he was awesome. I love Biff, man. You can't root for a guy like that. This is not a guy you're gonna mistake and say he is the bad guy, but
he's just misunderstood.
Misunderstood. There was no misunderstanding this guy. He was all about bullying. He was all about intimidation. He should have been arrested for assault years ago. He was a reckless driver, a sexual predator. I mean, this guy.
I'm surprised they didn't put any racist stuff that Biff was doing. I mean, especially.
You know what? There's the part that makes him shine, because when it came to race relations, Biff had a heart of gold. He was all about. He marched with Martin Luther King. He was all about equal rights. So that's why Biff. I love him.
Vote for Biff.
Vote for Biff. He may have been an asshole in high school, but he believed that school should have been desegregated.
Vote for Biff. All right. So my number 4 is, you know it, I know it, we both love it. The original Predator with Arnold Schwarzenegger. This guy, you knew it was one of the times where you knew that good guys were outgunned the entire movie. And then when we get to see him go mano a mano with this thing, you get a sense of scale. Just how big this thing is when it takes off that, and he's like, "You're one ugly motherfucker."
Yeah,
that one man, and then he proceeds to bitch slap Arnold around like he's a little child. I mean, if it had continued like that, there's no way Arnold would have won. He would have just beaten the hell out of him, beaten him to death. And so one time you get to see Arnold get beat up like that in the movie. No other movie.
And believe it.
You see like first person punching, you're like, so the Predator.
The Predator was awesome, man. That was the first movie I think I saw where you had an army, you had a squad in the army come down to an island, going after when they finally realized they were going after one being. And to me, the whole time they were surrounded. They were fighting one guy, and that one guy had the whole squad surrounded at all times, and they were outgunned, like you said, and outmatched. I mean, the second they went into that heat vision mode, somebody was gonna die. It didn't matter.
Man,
the second that music hit, it was over.
That jungle scene when they empty all the guns into the trees
and hit nothing.
They hit nothing.
They grazed them, right?
A little bit, yeah, because Arnold, he touches the blood, and they're like, if it bleeds, we can kill it.
Yeah, that's a true statement. If you can be seen, you can be hit. If you can be hit, you can be killed. But Arnold, he had to deliver it in his own Arnold way. If you can bleed, we can kill it. That was awesome. It just was amazing to me that they unloaded on that whole jungle. Who knows how many endangered animals died that night?
Yeah, right.
That day, but you only grazed.
They cut the whole forest down.
The whole forest down. And only grazed them. That was amazing to me. I wonder what he did. You think he might have burrowed himself into the ground?
He jumped up into the trees.
But they were cutting the trees down, so eventually we probably would have got him.
Maybe he jumped down into a gully. Who knows? He's the Predator. He moves like a boss.
You don't need to know how he survived. All you need to know is he survived.
That's right. That's what a Predator do.
That's what a Predator does. He adapts and survives.
Predates.
But speaking about a predator that's deep in the jungle, my number 4 is Scar from The Lion King. I know he's not a real person. He's not a real character.
He's a bad guy.
But he was, oh my goodness, when it comes to...
He was a backstabbing bad guy, too.
Yeah.
He was like, oh, it's all good. It's all good.
Very Shakespearean, that movie.
Long live the king.
But you knew something bad was gonna happen. I mean, the second Mufasa comes to visit you, weren't at the presentation. Oh, was that today? Yeah, I didn't give a damn. You knew the jealousy was there.
He's in the hyena's den, man. He's a jackal.
Yeah, and the song "Be Prepared." I remember I had a friend of mine who had the soundtrack to The Lion King. I remember somebody making a joke about Disney soundtracks. He said the only good parts of the Disney soundtracks were the villain songs. You always fast forward through everything else. But "Be Prepared" to me was an awesome song, man. That I mean, Scar was he was so misunderstood, and he was a great king, and I feel like it was just the fact that that the crazy Mufasa followers they let the land go to waste on purpose just to undermine them. No matter what this guy did. I mean, he had a great message. Be prepared. It was almost as good as Hope and Change.
Did you
But
see?
okay,
Did you see that scene where Scar was setting up his army of hyenas and he's standing above them? I
and
saw this video. It looked like Hitler. His
yeah,
hyenas were marching and saluting
they
to
did
him.
a Hitler like that
The
look to the
army.
left deal. If they could do the Heil, that's exactly what that scene was supposed to
But they were doing the marching.
imitate. Yeah, the goose stepping
Yeah.
was exactly on point,
Stepping
which would made
hyenas.
it, which was what made it crazy. I mean, this guy was so powerful. He was surrounded by millions of thousands of hyenas, and was able to insult them to their face. So, as thick as you are, pay attention. I mean, like these guys, verbally abusing these guys and needs their help, and they're doing it. That's a leader.
A dictator.
And a dictator, a dick.
Yeah.
What you was. What you got? What's your next
All
one?
right. So my number 3. This is another one. You just hate this guy. My boy Samuel Jackson playing Stephen, the butler, I guess, so to speak, in Django Unchained. This guy, oh my God, for me, he was the best part of that whole movie. I know Christopher Waltz did a great job, and Leonardo DiCaprio, he always brings it, but Samuel Jackson, for me, stole this movie, and they didn't give him enough screen time, in my opinion, because it got
Yeah.
kind of introduced later. But you really hate this guy. You hate him so much, you just want him to die the entire time you see him, and he gets a justful death at the end of this movie. And you're just like, yes, finally, you hate this dude. Oh my God. But he plays a great villain, man. Samuel Jackson, he always brings it.
Yeah, they call him. He was what they
Uncle
call
Tom.
Uncle Tom, the house
Yeah.
Negro.
Yeah.
He and those guys existed. I mean, they from birth to adulthood. That was the lifestyle that they were used to, and they would do anything. They loved their master, and he did. You could tell he loved Leonardo.
Oh, yeah.
When you saw a slave walk into the room where his master was relaxing and having a drink, and was able to sit without even thinking about it, just sit down and pour himself a drink, and it was just okay. You knew
He ran.
Samuel Jackson, exactly. You knew that. But to me, from the moment I saw that, I knew that Samuel Jackson's character put years of dedication, time into earning so much love and trust that he was able to chastise, criticize, and say whatever he wanted to say to Leonardo DiCaprio. Because half of the stuff that he said to Leonardo DiCaprio, you would have got killed for that. But he listened. Do you know how much crap that guy must have did to the rest of those slaves to get to that level? That's all. They might as well have been brothers. That way they acted around each other.
He was genuinely upset when Candy got killed at the end. He was crying like a little girl.
Love.
That's my
Oh,
house
my
ticket.
Oh my God! That's what blew my mind. Leonardo was awesome in that movie. But you're right. The way he talked to the lady, what's her name? I'm bad with names right now. The love interest on that movie.
He kept bringing her back in the kitchen and saying like,
Why?
You know him, don't you? Don't lie to me.
He said, what's wrong with you? Like, he's like, I'm scared. Why is I scaring you? I mean, it's just in her face, knowing the answers, but wants her to say it. I mean, that's just mind games. It was just,
You remember that scene where they were going to cut his balls they had him upside down? They were going to cut it. Oh my God! I thought I was going to have to walk out of the movie.
You thought it was about to happen?
Yeah, I thought they were going to cut his balls off on camera. I was like, oh my God!
He's like, I just got through watching 12 Years a Slave. I don't think I want to see that.
What did he say? And he said, man, I done cut all kinds of Negroes.
Mm.
I can tell you about exactly how long it takes for you to bleed out. It's just
Oh,
like
Leonardo pissed me off so many times. I love him so much, but I loved him so much in that movie. He was able to really piss me off. The whole thing with the skull. You know, half of the stuff they were saying, it was just BS to make themselves feel superior over them, to really keep fear in their hearts, to make them keep them in line. But when he started talking about the reason why we're superior is these little skull, I'm what? He was that good. I'm like, this fuck
you know
guy
where he
almost
cut his
convinced
hand?
me.
You know where he bled on the table? They said
Uh-huh.
that was actually an accident. He really did cut himself, but he just kept in character, so they just kept the clip later and said, "Fuck it, let's put it in the movie."
That's yeah. I don't doubt it.
He smashed
Um,
a glass or something and cut his hand open on the table. Really did.
was that the one where he was ranting about his property? I'm coming to my place, my property.
Boom. Yeah.
Was that? Oh
At the
man, that
table,
scene.
right when he vents and basically tells them that he knows what's going on and he's not going to
Yeah,
be bullshitted. So he slams the glass down and he really cut his hand open. So,
yeah.
but he
Oh
just kept
man,
in character.
that scene that Leonardo and Samuel L. Jackson, they scared me a lot of times in that movie. Um, After that, okay. So, and speaking about
So we on
being
your number two,
scared,
I guess.
going back, yeah, going down to the next one. My next guy is Robert Englund, Freddy Krueger. This is prime time, bitch. That's my boy, Robert Englund. I like everybody else was terrified by the original Nightmare on Elm Street, but I got to admit, when New Line kept the rights from Wes Craven and decided to make Freddy funny, I, like everybody else, fell in love with him like it was Steve Urkel on the very first episode of Family Matters that he was on. Hey, you know what? It worked. Let's just keep it going like this, because Freddy's kind of funny. The one-liners and the delivery of it.
He
Even
was sadistic. You know, his sense of humor was sadistic. It was never like kind-hearted stuff. It was
yeah,
he's gonna rip your guts out and laugh while he's doing it. You know?
and even in Wes Craven's New Nightmare, when Wes Craven finally got control of Freddy again to make him like the best thing that Freddy even did. I mean, he even kind of rivaled the first one, but it wasn't better. But it kind of was close to the first one. But the thing I liked about Wes Craven's New Nightmare was the fact that even though Wes Craven hated the fact that Freddy became funny and a joke like that, and it worked and everybody loved it, he still used it in Wes Craven's New Nightmare. You had both Freddys. You had the scary Freddy, the real serious scary Freddy, and you had the goofy one too. Like when Robert Englund was the actress was in the was on a talk show, and he said, "We got a surprise for you. We got a friend of yours," and he cuts through the paper. He said, "Hey, babe, let's do lunch," and he's like pandering to the crowd. So it was kind of interesting. Even though Wes Craven did not like the fact that Freddy became funny, he still, even in his movie, he used it, and it worked because he's not stupid. He knows it was working, so might as well give the people what they want. Let's give them a little bit of the funny Freddy. But I love the funny Freddy though. What do you think? What about Nightmare on Elm Street? What do you like about it?
I loved how creative they got with the kills because you never and it's like it was one of those gloomy type movies that no matter what scene you were watching, you knew the scene was not going to end well for anybody involved.
Mm.
No, like even like them riding on the bus or just riding in the back, and all of a sudden they look and the bus is speeding up and they're running over stuff. They're like, where the hell are we going? You know, and it ends up like teetering on a cliff and stuff. It's like it was gloom and doom and him
Yeah.
laughing his ass off the entire time at the pain and misery of others.
Oh,
I remember him playing like Nintendo or something and like killing him in the video game and stuff.
Oh, I remember the
I
Roach
think he used the
Motel.
power glove and all that stuff to kill somebody.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, with the claw. Yeah, a little cheap plug. Nintendo had their hands in everything in the 90s, in the early 90s. My favorite. What was my favorite kill? Everybody's favorite kill was the Roach Motel one. The girl pumping iron, and then Freddy broke her arms on and then she fell down in a vat of glue and ripped her body off, and it was a roach. He turned her into a cockroach, and
Oh,
then crushed her to death inside of those little Roach Motel deals. You check in, but they don't check out. And then killed her. Oh man, those lines were just so cheesy and so delicious. Robert Englund, man, We salute you.
Absolutely.
What you got next?
All right, so my last two, and this was on your list, and I don't have a particular actor because I like them both. They're very different. My number two would be, of course, the Joker in all of its incarnations, whether it be Mark Hamill, Jack Nicholson, or rest in peace, Heath Ledger. All of the Jokers. You go see those movies and you watch those cartoons to see what the Joker is going to do. He just does things.
And I'm hoping that yeah, you're right, and that's exactly who I have in my number two spot, Heath Ledger's Joker, and I'm hoping Jared Leto. I couldn't. The only reason why, and I've loved every Joker. I really love. If he wasn't a cartoon character, I would have honestly said, because he had more of an impact on me, would be the Batman animated series Joker.
Mark Hamill, yeah.
Mark Hamill's Joker, because you've seen he's played the Joker. Technically, Mark Hamill has played the Joker longer than anyone in history probably ever will. It's gonna, with all those episodes of the Batman animated series and the movies that he also voiced in
and
all
the video
that,
games,
and the video games, you add them all together.
It's a lot.
It'll be a long time before you add every other individual character who's played the Joker, even though these were 2-hour movies. You add them all together, it won't come
not even close
to what the hours that Mark Hamill put into it. But as far as impact, I still have to give it to dang, I might be changing my mind right now here on live. You know what? It was Heath Ledger. Screw it. I know he's animated, but Mark Hamill's a real guy. I'm sorry. The best Joker, Mark Hamill. I'm giving it to him. Only because of that.
Did you ever hear him singing that song to Batman, the Only You?
Only you. Yeah. I remember when Joker, they were in Arkham Asylum, and there was Jingle Bells, Batman Smells, Robin. He sang his own song. I remember, if anybody wants to go check it out, look on Vine. I don't know if you know the social media called Vine, where there's you make your own little 6-second little clips. When I was heavily into Vine. And by the way, it's random specific. If you want to look this up, you go to go to Google Vine videos, Google random specific, but dumb is spelled DUMB, and type in Joker or Christmas, whatever. And I took that clip. I made a 6-second clip where the Joker puts the little thing on his head and he rides the Christmas tree on the rocket board. And I made him, but I did the voiceover. I was playing the Joker. So you see that scene, and the second he puts the thing on his head, I go, and the Joker got away. Where do I get the money to do this shit? And he flies off. But I just, yeah. So I was gonna say Heath Ledger, but right now I talked myself out of it. Mark Hamill, that's my number two guy.
Wasn't very funny.
Oh wow. Okay, well, wait, before I pass it off, one more thing that Mark Hamill did. This was the best moment to me when he was the Joker, was on the return, Batman Beyond, the return of the Joker, after he admitted that he tortured Robin, learned who Batman was, and had it all. And even then, at that moment, when he after doing all that stuff to Robin, Batman was gonna hurt him. He wasn't gonna kill him and take his revenge. And that scene where Batman has Joker pinned up against Mark Hamill's Joker pinned up against the wall, and he said, "I'll break you." And then the Joker goes, if you had that, if you were capable of that kind of, he just had his number.
If you were that much fun, you would have done it long ago.
If you had the guts for that kind of fun, you'd have done it years ago. Yeah. And then he says, on the other hand, and punches him with that hand. He said, I, on the other hand, oh, it was classic. But that was the best time I had with the Joker, was that scene. But yeah, okay, I ran long on that one. What's your next one?
So on a little bit more serious note, my number one, and no matter how I looked at this, I mean, this was not what people would probably not put this guy in the list, but this guy was a real guy, and he was also in a movie, and he was in one of my favorite movies of all time, one of the finest movies ever put on film. The Commandant, I believe, is Amon Goth, who is the SS officer in charge of, I guess, the Jewish prisoners in Schindler's List. This guy and in real life and on film, is a monster in every sense of the word. The things that he does, you, I mean, you can't believe that a human being would do that to another human being and have absolutely no problem doing it and laugh about it and like enjoy it, like he's getting off on it. Men, women, children, it didn't matter who you were, he would kill you, and like you were less than a cockroach. So my number one pick, Amon Goth in Schindler's List.
Now, I'm gonna have to admit something that most people don't really admit, because they don't want to seem like they're insensitive or whatever. But I've never seen Schindler's List. I've been told so many times, see that movie, see it, and I know it's good. I know it's gotten like you said. I think you told me it has like 8 Oscars.
It won like 8 or 10 Oscars. Yeah, I might even be wrong. It might be 7 or 8, but it won like Best Picture, Best Director, Best Cinematography, Best Sets, Best Makeup.
Was that a Spielberg movie?
Yes, it's a Spielberg movie.
And I know it's a classic. And you know what? I might as well. I mean, I'm going to be up late. I might as well try to watch it tonight, I guess.
Oh, it's like a 3-hour movie.
Oh, okay. I might have to watch half of it tonight because we got some gaming to do. But yeah, I still haven't watched it, and
it's one of the few movies I own. I own a hard copy of that movie, and it's one of the few movies that people our age can sit down and watch that is black and white. Yeah. Now, there's a few scenes where he will, and they did this obviously intentionally, but it's to a brilliant effect, where only one person in the scene will be in color, and it just like the dress will be in color, and it will be like in red, and everything else is in black and white. But they do it on the far back shot widescreen to where you can follow somebody in the scene and you know who it is. And I can't tell you this particular scene, the details, it will spoil it for you, but it's heart-wrenching.
And if I'm not mistaken, because I know that around the time when that movie first came out, Liam Neeson's in that movie too, isn't he?
Yes.
But I remember if that's the first I ever heard that about the black and white and then some scenes being in color. So if I'm mistaken, correct me if I'm mistaken, I think that was one of the first times that effect was ever done in that case then, because that effect was that's fairly it's popular. It got popular in the 2000s, but that must have been the first time that was really done. Besides,
Sin City used it to heavy effect. Sin City,
but that was after Schindler's List,
right? Oh yeah, many years. Schindler's List came out in right before Jurassic Park, 93.
Yeah, so that would mean that Schindler's List would have been one of the first to really do it big in a popular cinema.
I guarantee you, though, if you sit down and watch this, Chris, and you guys can give your opinion on this, you will not be able to, if you have any heart in there, be able to maintain a completely dry eye watching this movie. Right. It's that bad. I mean, that good and that heart-wrenching.
Yeah. So yeah, I've been putting it off for so long, and I can't you guys know that I respect Sean's opinion. So if the world is saying it and Sean's saying it, then yeah, I need to go watch this movie. I probably need to put it off for too long before I find myself in an embarrassing situation. You call yourself a movie critic? What movie have you seen? Schindler's List? What was your favorite scene in Schindler's List? And I'm like, I can't even. No, I gotta watch this movie. So yeah, I can't wait to see it. So I need to watch it. I need to set the 3 hours aside and just do it. Because I remember I didn't see Titanic for a long time, and I didn't have anything to watch. I watched Titanic.
You should have seen Schindler's List before you saw Titanic. All due respect to Mr. Cameron.
I remember I'm 17 years old. I'm in my room. It's dark. It's just me and the TV, and then all of a sudden that your heart will go on music hits. I think we talked about this before, and I'm sitting there all like hugging the pillow, like far across that distance. You said you would never let go, and then you let go. Oh, but I need.
She's like breaking his fingers to get his body off of her.
Yeah. It's like, oh, I'm glad that's over.
Let go of me, Jack.
Damn it, Jack. I've got to live on in your name. But yeah, so my I'm gonna check it out. So my top
number one
of all time, and it's not. I know it's not. I wouldn't call this. I mean, in my opinion, if it's not officially the number one guy because of the impact that this movie has made on the world and cinema and movies, period, and how many people it's inspired since its creation. It'll be a shocker to me, but Darth Vader to me is the quintessential villain. I mean, he's As for scary look, check. Scary voice, check. Brilliance, check. Powerful, check. I mean, sometimes he was 10 steps ahead of you. Think you got the upper hand. No, no, no. Darth Vader, especially in Empire Strikes Back. But I don't think there's been any villain. But no, I mean, Star Wars in general was the first like true blockbuster to today's standards that did what it did, as far as lines wrapped around the corner, sweaty nerds coming from miles and miles to go see this movie, and then it's staying in. And that was back in the day when movies stayed in
Like a
theaters for a
year.
long time, so the money just kept rolling in. You know, I got nothing to do today. I'm gonna go see Star Wars. You've seen it 17 times, and I'm gonna see it again. But and it was awesome. So yeah, Darth Vader to me, because he's still relevant, man, to this day.
I would agree that from a cultural standpoint, that he is arguably the most recognizable. Everybody knows Darth Vader. I would agree.
Villain,
I would agree. Yeah.
He's like like if you're not into comic books, you've never read a comic book in your life, you've never watched a comic book movie, you don't watch cartoons, you don't know. You're my grandmother, for example. You go. I could say, I say, hey grandmommy, have you ever heard of Shrek or something like that? Some popular character. Like, nope, never heard of him. Have you ever heard of Superman? Yeah, I've never bought a Superman product at all, but you know who Superman is. Darth Vader, I think, is one of those characters too. Never seen a Star Wars movie, but if I was to say, Grandma, you ever heard of Darth Vader? Yeah, I know who Darth Vader is. It's just you're not gonna miss this guy.
The power of the dark side.
Obi-Wan he never told you the truth about your father. He told me you killed him. No. Let's go home. I'm going to show you the prequels. I'm going to show you what really happened. You're being misled. It was all his fault. I was trying to save your mother. Let's talk. All of a sudden, he just turns into
that man. Mark Hamill's face is like, no, I am your father. And he's like, yeah, you just like see him like, it can't be. And you're just like, he commits suicide right afterwards. He's just
he's like, you know what?
Yeah.
And this was before he knew Leia was his sister. He's just gonna give up. He was gonna give up. Jerk.
He's like, together we will rule the galaxy. And he's just like, never. It's like
he wanted to kill himself.
And he just like falls.
Exactly. But
you can see that little glint where Vader was actually just a little bit upset. He's like, he has his hand out. He's like, have your other hand, the one that I didn't cut off. You know, it's just like, and he's like, oh, shit.
He's like, oh,
what a waste.
Hey, like you're thinking to yourself, is he really worried but mad because he lost probably the only connection he had with Padme, or was he really like concerned because he already had put in motion the plan to take the Emperor down, and now that Luke killed himself, he's like, damn.
And you hear
who am I gonna get to open the door?
Just a long,
Who now who am I gonna convince to kneel on the floor behind the Emperor's legs when I push him over and knock him down and chop his head off with a lightsaber? I gotta figure this out now. So yeah, he looked pissed. Darth Vader was like, oh, dang it, this close. But I think if any of you guys, if there's no one's ever done this yet, get on you. Somebody needs to get on. We need to make this. If this doesn't exist, I'll make it. We need to get on YouTube. We need to put these clips together, do a voiceover, and when he goes, "I'm your father," and he goes, "That's not true. That's impossible." We should have Darth Vader then say, "No, I'm serious. Let's go home. Let's watch the prequels, episode 1, episode 2. I'm gonna show you exactly what happened. Exactly how it should have happened. I'm gonna show you all. I'm gonna show you everything that happened, and I'm going to show you why I'm doing what I'm doing. Everything that Obi-Wan told you is all lies. I'm not that bad. I killed some younglings, but let's talk about it. And let's go home and watch these 3 movies." And then he goes, "No!" and he, like Darth Vader tries.
We can watch the sequels, you know, or the prequel season.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Darth Vader tries to watch them. Exactly. Darth Vader tries to convince Luke to watch the prequels.
Watch the new.
He's like, I know you've never heard of Jar Jar Binks, but you're gonna love him. You're gonna love him.
That's when he says no.
They're like, Misa think he's not gonna survive.
He kills himself over Jar Jar.
Exactly. The power of Jar Jar comes back, but that would be hilarious. But
So that's it. That's the top 10 villains.
That's all of them. All right, man. Sign us off.
All right, guys. That is and I know we ramble, the top 10 most memorable villains in our personal opinions. If you guys have any of your top 10 villains, any ones that we just totally forgot about, send us some comments. Let us know. We'll talk about it. Click and subscribe. We will continue to make more videos. If you have some ideas, shoot us our way. In the meantime, keep talking to the medias.
Thank you, sir.